my name is Jean Plummer, and I was a radio announcer, did an interview talk show here for many years. Of course, I was a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I think just being impressed with the number of people that came and the guys that put it together. It was a brand new thing. Nobody had ever done it before. Hunting has always been a big thing in this part of the country, and we had plenty of turkeys back then. It was just exciting to see the number of people who responded. And over the years, then the celebrities that we had come and some interesting people that we met. I remember one of the Koch brothers. I just saw Steve Seaborn at a meeting that I was to this morning. And of course, he and the Koch brothers, I think he was really involved with one of them. I think maybe they sailed together or something. And Neil Buckman, of course, was involved. And Connie Phillips was, and a group of us ladies we always served lunch down at the 4-H building, and the hunters would come in and people from town would come in so they could see the turkeys when they first brought them in, cooking for those guys and having fun to do that. And I remember Miss Rudy, and I remember her, how she'd come, and we'd always get a chance to visit with her. And serving the meals was fun because that way we had a chance to visit with a lot of people. That's how I met a lot of them. And part of that time, too, I was running the Red Coach Convention Center. And I remember one of the first times that one of the ladies here in town came up to me and she said, "Oh, Jean," she said, "what am I going to do?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "I have on the same dress that the governor's wife had on." I said, "Well, just stay on the other side of the room and probably nobody will notice." And then I remember, of course, we had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go fix breakfast. And I remember when we were at the 4-H building and they'd bring the turkeys in and they'd weigh them and they'd get their beards, and so that was a fun part of it too. And then Dr. Red Duke, he was a fun thing, and he stayed at the Red Coach, so I got acquainted with him, and he was fun, and we had a lot of conversations together. Of course, Marv was wonderful. I learned a lot from Marv about public relations and all kinds of things that I had an opportunity to learn from him. He was a wonderful man, and we served lunch for, I guess, as long as they had it here. I don't know, because then I was gone for a while. But Betty Kirkpatrick, she helped us in the kitchen. Other people came and went, and we had some of the inmates from the North Unit, which we still had here at the time, meeting some of the wives even of some of the hunters. And of course, there were some that were women, but I was sharing with Mike the first time I met him. Somebody brought him to my house. We lived downtown at the time, and we were having a Sunday school party at our house, and I don't remember who brought him, said they wanted me to meet him, so he came up and I said, "Well, you have a radio media audience here. You know, we had all these people there for a dinner, and nobody in El Dorado had heard of him probably at that time." Well, he had been, because he was running for governor, and lots of interesting people that came. It was a wonderful addition to our community, and it was great to have the variety of people. And I was very impressed with the people who were also willing to give their time, because most of those people were volunteers, and El Dorado's always been a wonderful volunteer community. Since I grew up in this part of the country too, to see the ability to influence people to be more careful about our wildlife. You know, we brought people here that were exposed to our community that probably would have never ever come, people that were influential all over the United States. It put El Dorado on the map, a lot of places where probably nobody had ever heard of us, and it was a great thing for us from the economic standpoint of what it did for our community was great too. I was gone from El Dorado for 2.5 years. So during that time is when I knew that one year they didn't have any turkeys, so that's when they discontinued the turkey hunt. Unless it's centered here in the future, I think it'll be a big loss to our community. So I'm happy to see that it's changed now and gone to a different direction maybe.